Lesley Stahl is condescending and rude. Why is she attacking a hostage?
Terrorists became very mean and very cruel and violent.
More so.
Much more so. They were beating me and starving me.
Do you think they starved you or they just didn't have food?
No, I think they starved me, and they would often eat in front of me and not offer me food.
They starved him. What do you think he's going to say? Oh, no, Lesley, now that you're jogging my memory, I forgot. We had creme brulee. We had a 5-course tasting menu. Thank you so much for reminding me. It was actually an exquisite time. We had massages, steam rooms. The whole thing was a 5-star Ritz-Carlton experience. What are you talking about, Lesley Stahl? Lesley Stahl? Lesley.
Blasted Stahl for the tone-deaf question.
These individuals show up gaunt. They have been tortured in horrific fashion. Was it just that Hamas didn't have food? Lesley Stahl, like what's in your drinking water?
I don't know, but didn't she notice that the hostage takers weren't emaciated?
No.
What in the actual is going on with that woman? And as he's trying to very calmly educate her on the point that they ate in front of him as he was starving to death. Can you imagine the pain, the physical pain of watching that and knowing your gut is killing you, you haven't eaten in weeks? I'm flabbergasted by it. And all I can think of is maybe she literally didn't study.
I don't think
this is how deep the indoctrination goes, though. She's so dismissive because that's what the far left has been teaching. You must have been doing something wrong. That is the epitome of scolding the victim and victim shaming, which they say they champion, but really they don't. They really aren't there for the marginalized, for the person that was held hostage. This is absolutely ludicrous. And in a minute, you'll see her be condescending to President Trump in her perfect fashion. When I was 2 years old, my dad had run for Congress and she was condescending to him. This is who she is. This is her MO. But at 83 years old, you never get new stripes, or what's the saying?
She asked a Jewish hostage who had been starved and beaten by Hamas, do you think they didn't have food? Hamas is pure evil and Lesley Stahl is an idiot. This person agreed, saying, I can't believe my eyes. Lesley Stahl has the audacity to ask a Jewish hostage who was tortured and starved by Hamas if Hamas really meant to starve him or if they just didn't have enough food. Is this a joke? How the hell can she even ask him that? And to add insult to injury for Stahl, this freed hostage has nothing but praise for Donald Trump, much to the reporter's dismay.
If you could say something to President Trump, what would you say?
Please stop this war and help bring all the hostages back.
And you think he can help?
I know he can help. I'm here because of Trump. I'm here only because of him.
This commentator agreed, saying Lesley Stahl's worst nightmare is to hear others praise Trump. But this, unfortunately, isn't Lesley Stahl's first rodeo. She was humiliated by Trump after she tried to defend Hunter Biden during an interview.
Now watch this. Watch how condescending she is. This is the training. Oh, come on. It wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad when you were starved to death. Really, they just didn't have any food, right? It really wasn't that bad. And here she is, absolutely in her prime condescension stage with President Trump. Watch.
And he's in the midst of a scandal.
He's not.
And he's taking... Of course he is,
no.
Lesley.
Come on.
Of course he is. It's the biggest, second biggest scandal. The biggest scandal was when they spied on my campaign. They spied on my campaign.
There's
Lesley.
no real evidence of that.
Of course there is. It's all over the place.
Hilariously, Stahl's comments have reached her colleagues in the media, like Scott Jennings on CNN, who has had enough of her inconsiderate line of questioning.
Lesley asked hostage Keith Siegel this weekend, when he said he'd been starved in captivity, well, maybe they just didn't have enough food to give you. And he had to set her straight. She's been there since 1991. Well, I'm sorry, Lesley, it's time for an upgrade. That was a terrible question.
They were beating me and starving me.
60 Minutes is no stranger to controversy. with the program heavily criticized by President Donald Trump for months. He demanded the show be taken off the air, saying 60 Minutes is a major part of the news organization of CBS, which has just created the greatest fraud in broadcast history. CBS should lose its license and it should be bid out to the highest bidder, as should all other broadcast licenses, because they are all just as corrupt as CBS, and maybe even worse.
What do you think? Is Lesley Stahl that ignorant? Is she, as some say, carrying water for Hamas? Is she working for George Soros? What is actually going on here? Do you think 60 Minutes should be pulled? Do you agree with Donald Trump? Let me know in the comments. And if you find value in this video and others on this channel, please do subscribe. And if you'd like to see how this trickle-down effect happens with the mainstream legacy media and the far, far left with this dismissive quality that they're quite literally training people to the point where people can blow up Teslas and it's no big deal because it's in the name of democracy. Who cares who it's harming or how it's harming Americans? If they don't like somebody, they will not shudder from violence or any extremes, right? But when somebody's pouring their heart out about their story and about what their perspective is, the far left has been trained to just absolutely dismiss them. There was a mom in a school board meeting right here in Colorado who was absolutely, of course, dismissed because she was standing up for her daughter who they were transitioning in the 5th grade without this mom's permission. If you want to see that video, then you can, because it's coming up right